Your boss just sent another email reminding everyone about the 401k match. Free money, they say, like they're doing you the favor of a lifetime. Ever wonder why companies push this benefit harder than literally anything else they offer? Today, I'll explain why employer 401k matching exists like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand whether your company is being generous. Or are they just playing a game where they win twice and you don't even realize you're the game piece? Here's what they tell you about 401k matching. Put in 6% of your paycheck and your employer matches it dollar for dollar. Boom, instant 100% return on your investment. Financial advisors practically scream at you to take it because nowhere else on planet Earth can you double your money instantly. And they're right, you absolutely should take the match. But here's the part nobody mentions during that cheerful orientation meeting with the stale bagels. Your employer isn't giving you free money out of the goodness of their corporate heart. They're making one of the smartest business deals they'll ever make, and you're the product. Let's start with the taxes, because this is where it gets sneaky. When your company matches your 401k, they get an immediate tax deduction on every single dollar. It's just like buying office chairs or paying for the coffee machine nobody cleans. Imagine if every time you gave someone 20 bucks, the government handed you $7 back instantly. That's what's happening here with your retirement account. Your employer contributes $3,000 to your 401k, claims it as a business expense. Their actual cost after tax breaks drops to around $2,000. Meanwhile, that money goes into your account where you can't touch it for decades without massive penalties. And your employer gets to brag about offering competitive benefits in every job listing from now until the heat death of the universe. Now here's where it gets really interesting with retention. Companies know, they have actual data on this, that employees who contribute to a 401k stay longer. They stay at their jobs 20 to 30% longer than employees who don't. It's called golden handcuffs, and it's not some conspiracy theory your uncle rants about at Thanksgiving. It's documented corporate strategy taught in business schools and discussed openly in HR conferences. You keep showing up to work because leaving means abandoning thousands of dollars in unvested matching funds that haven't fully become yours yet. Most companies use a vesting schedule. Maybe you get 20% of their match after 1 year. You get 40% after 2 years, and you don't own it all until you've stuck around for 4 or 5 years. Every time you think about quitting because your manager micromanages your bathroom breaks, you remember something important. You remember those thousands of dollars you'd leave on the table if you quit now. Suddenly, staying doesn't seem quite so unbearable. Your employer just bought your loyalty for a fraction of what it would cost them to recruit, hire, and train your replacement. That typically costs them somewhere between 50 and 200% of your annual salary, depending on your role. The match is the bargain of the century for them, not you. Let's talk about what this replaces, because context matters here. Decades ago, companies offered pensions, real retirement plans, where they promised you a specific amount every month after you retired. It was their problem to fund it, their risk to manage. But pensions were expensive and unpredictable for companies to maintain. Stock market crashes, people living longer than expected, bad investments. All of that was the company's burden. So they shifted to 401ks and transferred 100% of the investment risk from your employer to you. Now, if the stock market tanks right before you retire, that's your problem, not theirs. They made their contribution, got their tax deduction, locked you into your job for extra years, and walked away clean. Meanwhile, you're checking your account balance at 3 in the morning, wondering if you can actually afford to retire at 67. This matters to you because the narrative around 401k matching is completely backwards. Every job listing presents it like a gift. We offer generous 401k matching, as if they're reaching into their own pockets out of pure altruism. But strip away the marketing, and here's the actual transaction. They pay you less in base salary than they otherwise might. They redirect some of that money into a retirement account you can't access without penalties for decades. They get an immediate tax break on the contribution, and they lock you into staying longer because leaving means abandoning unvested funds. It's like your phone company offering you a free upgrade if you sign a 2-year contract. Except the contract is designed to be softer and sneakier than you think. And you don't even realize you're locked in until you try to leave, and suddenly math you forgot about becomes extremely relevant. But here's what makes this truly brilliant from a corporate perspective. They get to advertise this benefit while simultaneously avoiding giving you a raise. Your boss can point to that 6% match during your annual review when you ask for more money. They'll say, Well, don't forget we're already giving you 6% in matching contributions. Except it's not money in your paycheck that helps you cover rent this month. It's not money to buy groceries when inflation has turned the dairy aisle into a hostage negotiation. Or money to finally fix that weird noise your car's been making since February. It's money you can't touch for 30 years, not a penny before that. And if you desperately need it before then, you'll pay taxes plus a 10% penalty for early withdrawal. Meanwhile, your actual salary stays flat, your rent goes up, and you're supposed to feel grateful. Because technically your total compensation increased even though your lived experience is eating ramen for the third time this week. Here's something else they won't tell you during orientation. The average 401k balance for Americans in their 60s is barely over $200,000. That sounds like a lot until you realize that generates maybe $8,000 to $10,000 of safe annual income. You spent 40 years contributing, your employer spent 40 years matching and patting themselves on the back for it. And the end result is an extra $800 a month in retirement before taxes. You're not buying a boat, and you're not traveling the world. You're supplementing Social Security and hoping nothing expensive breaks. Your health holds up, and inflation doesn't eat whatever purchasing power that money still has. Now, some companies are genuinely better about this than others. They match higher percentages, vest funds immediately instead of stretching it over years, and offer additional profit-sharing contributions. But even in the best-case scenario, the fundamental structure benefits them more than basic arithmetic suggests. They're paying you in future money that costs them less right now. They're claiming tax advantages immediately and locking in your loyalty long-term. They're reducing turnover expenses that would dwarf the cost of the match. And they're positioning themselves as the good guys in a job market where everyone's competing for talent. It's not evil, it's just business as usual. But we should probably stop pretending it's charity when the primary beneficiary isn't you. So, should you skip the 401k match out of spite? Absolutely not. That would be cutting off your nose to spite your face. That match is still the best guaranteed return you'll find anywhere, and you should contribute at least enough to grab every dollar they're offering. Max out your contributions if you can. But stop thinking of your employer as some benevolent guardian angel looking out for your golden years while expecting nothing in return. They're making a calculated investment where they win on taxes today, they win on retention tomorrow, and they win on avoiding salary increases the day after that. The 401k match is brilliant corporate strategy disguised as a gift. It's a discount loyalty program where you're the one being discounted. To recap, employer 401k matching gives them an immediate tax deduction that cuts the real cost by roughly 30% or more. It keeps you at your job 20 to 30% longer because leaving means abandoning unvested funds you've been counting on. It replaces the old pension system that put investment risk on the company and shifts all of that uncertainty onto your shoulders. It lets them advertise competitive benefits while keeping your actual salary lower than it might otherwise be. And even when you max it out and do everything right, the average retirement balance barely covers basic expenses in your final decades. Take the match. Take every cent they'll give you, but understand you're not the charity case in this relationship. So here's the real question worth asking yourself today. If companies can afford to match 6% of your salary and still profit massively from the arrangement, what does that tell you? It tells you how much more they could actually afford to pay you in real money right now.